How's the lighting? Okay. And I'm leaving the fan on so I don't die. All right. So I don't see me. Do you see Chris? Are you Do you see me in the picture? Can you take a screenshot and send it to me? How do I know when people are on? Well, we're live, right? So, hold on a minute. I know I just did this, but I forgot to turn off a ding. So this is really great. Hold on. All right. All right. How many buzzers can you have? Okay. So now I'm going to go back to where? Share? No, where am I going? Can you do it for me? Because I don't know what you're talking about. And we're on it's just sharing the wrong screen. Just go live. It says up here. It is it is open. It is okay. All right. So you can see me. The only thing you see is the big screen with impact and the slides on it, correct? And I think we're at time, except yeah, we're at past time. Now, how do we know if there's anybody? There's just you and me. Okay, great. So, all right. Can we turn off the number of participants? No, it's a PowerPoint. It's a Zoom thing. That wasn't the question. The question was, can we turn off the number of participants in general? I don't you're not understanding me and I'm not understanding you. So have a great next call. And I'm just going to start. And we're live, correct? Okay. Thank you very much, Chris. Marketer extraordinaire. Thank you for your help. Hi, hello, everybody. It is Nancy D. Solomon, and welcome to a masterclass on impact. The host ended this meeting. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we are. Hi. All right, I want to give you an example of what's going on. I personally, I don't know about you, I love to go to the bathroom. No, really, I do. But I don't wanna know how to use the plumbing, like, I don't know how to wanna know how to fix plumbing, and that's how I am with tech. I love getting on live with you. I love doing videos with you. I love teaching trainings with you. I don't like the tech part, and I don't wanna need to know it, and that's why Chris helps me out. Today, we're gonna have a master class on increasing your impact to increase your income, and we're gonna need to take a little bit of a side road in order to get there. So, let's see. All right. I'm going to make a very long 18-year story very short. And for those of you just joining us, my name is Nancy D. Solomon. I'm the CEO and founder of Women Think Global. And today's class is on increasing your impact to increase your income. And this is really, if you want to leave a lasting legacy, if you want to die without regret, if you want to increase your impact, you are in the right place. So, I've known that I wanted to work with women and equip them to empower themselves since I was 14 years old. The cleaned up version of the story is I grew up in a misogynist home where my father talked to my mother in a way that I didn't think any human being should talk to another one. We'll leave it at that. So I decided that at 14 years old, that when I got to be a big girl, when I grew up, I was going to teach women how never to be treated that way. Well, when I was having that all important conversation with my parents about what I was going to do with the rest of my life, I said, Mom, Dad, don't worry about it. I know exactly what I want to do. I want to be a psychotherapist. Well, my mother looked at my father looked at my mother, and they looked at me, and simultaneously, as though they had practiced it, they said, no, no daughter of ours will be a psychotherapist. Now, in hindsight, what I realize is that they knew that if I became a therapist, I'd figure out just how dysfunctional we were, and they'd have none of it. So, okay, what should I do? Well, you should become a teacher. Well, why should I become a teacher, Mom? I know you know the answer to this. Fill in the blank. So you'd have something to fall back on, which is a euphemism for if I don't meet the right guy, or I do meet the right guy and we get a divorce, I'll be able to like feed myself. Now, why we would raise our children to expect the worst and to prepare them for falling rather than succeeding, I have never figured out. Ditto the story about you will not become a psychotherapist. Okay. All right. So I became a school teacher for 1 year, and I hated the politics and I hated the paperwork, and I ended up going into sales. Now, you might be saying, how did she go from helping women to sales? I will tell you. I sold clothing in a designer store. It was at Fifth Avenue, actually, when my friends were flipping burgers at Burger King or McDonald's or whatever. And I was really very good at it because I would be sitting in a fitting room and I would be giving them feedback on how they looked. And I would knew like 37 ways to say, no, your ass doesn't look fat, and that without saying those words. So I realized that selling is really a matter of relationship. Yeah. Okay. So all of that said, I was in the industry for 16, 17 years, and I climbed my way to the top because everybody in my family was at the top, and there was no other place for a Solomon. So by the time I like woke up and had this gestalt that what the hell was I doing with my life, uh, I had spent 18 years doing something I shouldn't have been doing. It was off purpose for me. I knew it. It felt awful. By the time I was fired, yes, fired, I was vice president of sales for a small territory called North America for a European clothing company. And it was like, I was miserable. I ate at the right restaurants. I wore the right clothes. I had the right jewelry. And I was absolutely despondent. As a matter of fact, I almost died. But I'll leave that for another live because that's a good story. But anyway, so there I am. I am in my late 30s, and I decided to pull a do-over card. And I decided that I had lived the first half of my life for them, and I was going to live the next part for myself. And I don't know about you, but it is very common for us to do what we think we're supposed to do instead of what we are called for. And today I want to talk to you about how critical it is to be on purpose, because the extent that you are on purpose is the extent that you will have impact, is the extent to which you can make the income you desire. And I'm a case in point. All right. Went back to school. I became a psychotherapist. Why? Because at the time, believe it or not, back in the Jurassic period, my son swears, there was no coaching field. And I wanted a framework for what I wanted to do. So I became a psychotherapist. That lasted for 8 years because the fact is, remember, I didn't like paperwork and I didn't like politics. Well, therapy just wasn't moving fast enough for me. I'm all about the results and I'm all about the solution. Now, I want to be really clear. I have been to more therapy than I can count. Therapy saved my butt. Therapy kept me alive when I should have been dead. I am a huge advocate for therapy. And once you've done the work on yourself, in yourself, then you go into coaching. Then you become a coaching client. But don't confuse the two. Again, another live. And I learned many things from that 18-year excursion off path. And One of the things I learned was rejection is God's way of saving you the trouble. I'll say that in English now. Rejection is God's way of saving you the trouble. That is Solomonism number 80. And what that means is I was fired because I was off point, and I knew it. I'd like to say to you, I had no idea. I knew I was off purpose. I totally knew, but I didn't know how to get from there to there. And this is what I do in my coaching practice is I help women bridge the gap in their purpose from where they are right now to what their real purpose is. Because the extent to which you are on purpose in your life is the extent that you will have impact, the extent that you will feel happy, joyous, fulfilled, and successful. Now, I also learned that the best job in the world isn't the best job in the world if it doesn't belong to you. So on paper, I had the most successful career, but in real life, it wasn't my job. I was literally stealing somebody else's job. It was somebody else's job to be VP of sales for North America for that company. All right. I have so much to say about this. Each one of us has a purpose that is unique to us. And I'm going to talk a lot about that in the next half hour. But the extent that you're of purpose is the extent that you'll never get there. The other thing I learned is we do what we do until it gets too painful or we get bored. And then we do something else. That is Solomonism number 143. To the extent that we ignore the path of our purpose is the extent to which we experience pain, misery, and suffering in our lives. And I was in so much pain. Do you know what I'm talking about? You're sitting at your desk, you've got the title, you've got the relationship, maybe you've got the car, the house, whatever you've got, you're stuck. But inside, no matter how successful you look to the world, you feel unfulfilled within you. That why that Mark Twain talked about, the two most important days of your life are the day you were born. Your parents took care of that. And the day you find out why. That's my job, to help you find out why. What are you supposed to be doing in the cleanest, most healthiest, most divine sense of the word? All right. Now, this is really important. Take notes. Are you taking notes? You're born with a purpose. Your purpose unleashes your potential. Let's say a minute about potential. Potential is the untapped gifts and talents you have. So picture one of those celluloid little flat sponges, and they're tiny, right? And then you add water and right? The sponge, before you add water, is useless. You add water, and now you can do something with it. Our potential is what our parents usually, at least mine did, usually speak of when they're saying, Nan, you have such potential. And it usually referred to me when they were very disappointed in the choices I was making. That's when they pulled out the potential card. To the extent that you're on purpose and you're using your potential is the extent that you will have impact. Now, this is some very interesting research. Taylor Protocols did research on this, and they discovered that the chances of anybody being identical to you are 1 in 10 octillion. So that's a one with 28 zeros. So you are unique. You hear people say, well, you're as unique as your thumbprint. I used that for years until everybody used it for years and then nobody got it. Okay. And your purpose being unique to you means if you don't do your job, it never gets done. So I want you to ask yourself this question. If you're doing as well as you are right now and you're off purpose, imagine how well you'll do spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, when you are on purpose and doing what you were built for. I want to say that again. It's what your purpose is, what you were built for. So, what's a good example? I have never fantasized about being a concert pianist, ever. I took lessons. I liked it. Thank you, Mrs. Tobias. She was our neighbor when I was like little, right? But it's not what I was made for. And so therefore, I never fantasized about being a concert pianist. What I did fantasize from the time I was 14 was helping you achieve your best version of yourself. And that term is so overused, but I wanted you to live your life to the fullest, using every cell in your body to support your purpose. And to that point, I developed what I call the impact accountability model. You'll notice that rock, and it went in the middle of the pond, and all these circles, ripple out, correct? Well, you are the rock in your own pond. So take a look at this with me. Right here, this is you right here in the middle, okay? And we can say you're your organization's unique value proposition, but you're also that for your business, that for your relationships, that for your children, that for your income earning potential. So to the extent that you have a great relationship with her right in here, or him, is the extent that the rest of your life will go in alignment. So let me explain. The first circle that comes out is after your spiritual, after what you were born with. Now, let me back up a minute. This is not a religious program, but I do have a very strong spiritual belief that each of us have this unique and divine purpose. I have never, in the 34 years I've been doing this, the 34 years that I've been supporting women and equipping women to empower themselves, I have never seen an exception. It could be out there. I have coached women just like you for 17,302 hours. So, yeah, I could consider myself an expert in the field of women leadership, impact, and income. Yeah. Okay. So you've got this purpose that starts wherever you want. You call it call it your higher wisdom, your greater light, your God, your whatever works for you. Okay. That's irrelevant. And the next circle that comes out is your emotion, which means your emotions are a result of or ripple out from your relationship with your spirit. Next out is your mental. Next out is your physical, your relationships, your family, your home, et cetera, et cetera. So being the rock in your own pond means that everything in your life is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. I'm going to say that again. Everything in your life, every area of your life, it could be career, money, relationship, doesn't matter, is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. Now, that little circle in the middle of that heart, that is your why. Your purpose is your why. And for years, way before people wrote books about it or did TED Talks about it, we talked about your why behind your what. We know what you do, but do you know why you do it? That is your purpose. Your how are your goals. So people usually come to me, they want to focus on, I want to make $1 million. That's a great goal. I want to be happy. That's a great goal. I want to feel more passion in my life. That's a great goal. I want to get to VP of, Schmagegi land. Great goal. But it doesn't happen if you don't know why you want it to happen. Or let's put it this way. It will be much more difficult than if you know why. If you know how it aligns with your core values. If you know how it aligns with your purpose. Right? All right. So people focus on the how, and I'm like, forget the how, focus on the what. What do you want? Then we'll figure out the how. All right. Where is your impact? So again, I know I'm going fast. This is a masterclass. The extent that you have this aligned relationship with your life purpose is the extent that you will have impact. I'm going to say that again. To the extent that you are aligned with your life purpose and all the areas of your life align is the extent that you will have the impact that you intend. Now, everybody has an impact. Yeah, everybody has an impact. But what's the impact you have? So if you run into a room yelling and screaming like a maniac, you're going to have an impact. But is that what you want to be known for? Or do you want to be known for the contribution you make, the difference you make? Right? All right. Now, your purpose is your personal operating system. Your purpose is your personal operating system. Information comes in, it gets filed. What's appropriate stays with you, and in alignment with your purpose stays with you. The rest you can stick in the trash can. All right. Now, what I help people do, what I was born for in my personal operating system is to help you have the most congruent, aligned life with every aspect of your life, with the impact that you were meant to have with your life purpose. So, what do? Well, we help you figure out what that is. If you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you get there? That's Solomonism number 217, by the way. All right. So you need to know where you're going and why you're going there to make the journey easier. All right. Now, here's what I want you to know. You would not, and I talked to you about the concert pianist, you would not be given a hope, a dream, or a vision without the talents and gifts to make them real. Solomonism of 237. So as I said, I don't have the talent to be a concert pianist. If I practiced 5 hours a day, 7 days a week for the next 30 years, I would be a really good pianist, but I wouldn't be a concert pianist. It's not what my personal operating system is aligned with. Right? Get that? You get that? So right now, why don't you write down what you think your purpose is? Now, let me be really clear. It is not to finish the last load of laundry. It is not to take care of your children. It is not to make a ton of money. Your personal purpose is your spirit in action. I never said that before, but that's exactly what it is. All right. Your potential is the raw goods that you were given to enact um, your purpose and your impact. All right. So here, our potential is the raw good, and our impact is what we create with it. Now, we no longer have paychecks, but if we did, having potential that you don't use is like having a paycheck you don't cash, or a Venmo that you don't transfer to your bank account, or whatever example you like. All right. And why is that important? Because the need to make a difference is the single most significant motivator of human behavior. We need to make a difference. We need to know, what is the contribution we make? What difference does that contribution make? And what's the impact as a result of those two things? So people go in and they say, well, I have this big interview with, XYZ company, and I've been talking about what my skills are and blah, blah. That's all wonderful. Know what your skills are. Be able to articulate the what you bring to the organization. But you know what the interviewer really wants to know? Write this down. What's the contribution you're going to bring to my organization? Number one, write it down. What is the contribution that you're going to bring to our organization, our team, our company? Two, what is the difference that will make? What is the difference that will make? And three, what is the impact that will have? So let me give you an example. um, you interview at, Acme ABCDE company, and you go in and you tell them, here's how I can contribute to your team. I am an exceptional project manager. I take the risk out of decision making. I help your employees to work well together. I make sure that your deliverables are on time. Those are some examples. So what difference does that make? Well, it takes the snags out. Well, the research tells us that the average manager, I mean, not that the manager is average, but on average, the managers spend 1 day a week or 25% of their time managing their team's poor emotional intelligence skills. The infighting, the land grab, the one-upping one another, whatever it is. All right. So when you come in and you're an exceptional project manager and you help people play nicely together, I hate that expression, but in fact, we're all just 11 years old. I'll talk about that later, or I should say some other time. So that's the difference that makes. So what will the impact of that be? Well, your deliverables will be on time, which means you'll be more profitable because you're more productive. That's what your interviewer wants to know. They may not know that's what they want to know, but in essence, that's what they're looking for. That your skills are great, your attitude's greater. Okay. And what I know about impact and personal purpose is if you don't have a strategy to increase your impact, then you automatically, by default, have a strategy to be invisible. I'm going to say that again. If you don't have a strategy to be impactful, then by default, you have a strategy to be invisible. That's Solomonism number 333. But most people spend more time figuring out where they want the furniture in their home to go or what technology they want to buy than they do in meticulously planning out their life. So what happens? Well, 91% of the people who are lying on their deathbed are saying to themselves, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself rather than the life that everyone wanted me to have. And I gave you a personal example. My parents wanted me to be something that they understood. I'm not faulting them. We all, as parents, God knows, do the best we can. They wanted me to have a steady job with a pension so I would be okay. So by virtue, and this really is another masterclass, women are taught not to trust themselves. We're taught that we don't have an intuition. We're taught not to act outside the box. Think about it. Women are often called outspoken, as though there's a box that you're supposed to speak in. And if you say any words outside of that box, you are now outspoken. They don't say the same thing about men. Have you ever heard a man be called outspoken? Ah, he's powerful. Oh, he's just loud. That's just his personality. I don't know. They say how you do one thing is how you do everything. So I want to leave you for a moment here. Write this down. Take a screenshot if you'd like. The $1 billion questions. All right. Question number one. You want to ask yourself, why was I born? Question number two. How can I make the biggest difference? And question number three. What is my impact? What is my impact? So I'm going to turn this off for a moment, and I want to tell you, actually, here's what I'm going to do. Oh, well, I didn't do it correctly, so forget that. And there is nobody in tech to help me. So we are just going to end the show. And I have no idea what you can see. I have no idea. Let's just see. Oh, here we are. Okay. Give me a minute. Remember, love to use the bathroom. Don't want to know how to use the plumbing. All right. We're going to pretend that none of this is happening. That is so funny. So I'm online last week. All right. I'm going to delete this because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm on line at the airport last week. And it's one of those, it was actually Southwest, which was a delightful trip. And you know what? You're probably seeing all my passwords or something. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, let's just forget that. Okay, so I'm online at Southwest Airlines, and they have numbers, and like I'm number 33, and I get in line, and blah blah blah, and I get to the, you have to scan your barcode, and I'm about to show you how silly I can be, and I hear beep beep beep, and the attendant there looks at my boarding pass, and she said, "Honey," no, she called me sugar, sugar. This plane's going to Nashville, you're not. You're going to Dallas, it's right over there. So I turned to this long line of people, and in Nancy Solomon fashion said, "We're gonna forget any of this happens." And everybody, of course, laughed, and I went and I got on the right plane. "We're gonna forget that you can see what you can see on my computer if you can see something." I want to tell you very briefly about a program that I put together that is going guaranteed to help you increase your impact in 30 days. It is called the Impact Accelerator. And since my tech is like doing what tech does, you can go to this URL. It's IA as an impact accelerator, ia.womenthink.com. And it will tell you everything you want to know about the program. But let me tell you the results you're going to get. First of all, I have been teaching this program for 16 years. I have put over 2,000 women through the program. It is a 30-day program. You will find out what you came here to do, the difference you make, the impact that has, and the plan to increase your income. We're going to give you concrete strategies and tools. It is not fluff. I hate fluff. I resent fluff. I resent when people take up my time for smoke and mirrors because they're going to sell me some overpriced program that's not going to give me a result. I resent that. This is not that. This is a program that has been road tested for a very long time. I have, worked this program with women from all walks of life. So a lot have been in male-dominated spaces such as tech or banking or finance. A lot of them have been entrepreneurs, women who are doing their own thing, being on purpose or trying to. It is a comprehensive program. Now, let's just be really clear. This is a program that's probably worth, I don't know, $15,000. The price on it is usually $25,000. But for this cohort, I have made it $597 on early bird. It goes up $100 in a week from now. All right. Now, why have I done such craziness? Oh, and I should mention you have $2,900 in bonuses. Go to ia.womenthink.com. You can get all the details. I made it this low for two reasons. I wanted to see if I could get a lot of women who ordinarily say no to themselves because they don't think they deserve to be in front of the line. So a lot of these women into the program so they can see that their existence matters, that they matter. I also did it because I'm hoping that you love it. And then I'm going to ask you for a testimonial. So that's why it is a fraction of the regular price. They tell me never do this on camera, but I had to. If you want to reach me, you can go to my website calendar, which is connectwithwomenthink.com. Again, connectwithwomenthink.com. But for the rest of you, go sign up. We start in just a few weeks. You will not be sorry. You will be so excited that you were smart enough to get on this masterclass, or maybe somebody passed this along to you. And it's going to be a relief because you can stop wondering. You can stop wondering. Yeah. And for those of you who want to know logistics, I'll just sneak those in there. An hour of training with me directly. It's all live every week. And an hour of Q&A and hot seat. So go check it out. ia.womenthink.com. And I hope to see you in the training. You deserve to focus on who you are and what you want. All right. Thank you. Nancy D. Solomon, Women Think Global.